Africa's fintech industry has experienced rapid growth over the past 7 years, emerging as the most populous and well-funded sector among tech startups on the continent. Now, investment into the African tech startup ecosystem passed the $3 billion mark for the first time in 2022, with the space withstanding global economic headwinds to post a record year as 633 startups raised funding. However, as the industry continues to expand, so do the threats to its security. The increased availability of AI impersonation technology is one of the most significant concerns, as it has the potential to compromise the effectiveness of current Know Your Customer or KYC protocols and other fintech security measures. So let's look at fintech security in Africa and addressing the AI technology threat. My guest right now is Lanre Ogungbe, CEO and co-founder of Prembly, which is the parent company of Identity Pass, which is a leading provider of compliance and digital security infrastructure across the continent. Lanre, welcome to Business Edge. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to be here.
Great. So while we're seeing all the good things that technology is doing and how fintechs are even using technology to provide financial services, but we're also hearing about the negative things and the cautious things, or the things that we need to take note of. So let's start from there. When it comes to the fintech space in Africa, what is AI being used for positively?
Great. Thank you so much again for that question. So, just like you said, every good thing also have negative side, especially when it's not properly watched. But today we've seen AI being used properly in terms of fraud detection, in terms of transaction monitoring. We've seen AI being used to study how consumer behaviors are formed, and when you do that, what happens is that you're able to form more, a better product user experience, because now you've used, the AI to study what the customer wants and how they operate and how, they click on every single transaction that they click on. Other than that, also is that, there's a strong use of AI around, just like you've mentioned during the introduction, the knowledge KYC, right? And also KYB, and that's know your customers and know your business, right? And AI is heavily being deployed right now in the fintech space to heavily identify individuals and also be sure that they're actually what they say they are. Merging, biometrics attributes of every single customer with what's in the government database before you allow them to do some level of transaction. Linking up both behavioral attributes to biometric attributes to ID information, and ensuring that people are actually what they say they are before they're allowed to do transactions, right? Today, we've seen so many areas of AI deployments on that space today, and which is a good thing.
Yeah. All right. So from the good, unfortunately, now to the bad, let's look at the threats. Artificial intelligence impersonation seems to be one of the big things, and I was reading up about it, and it seems that's where it might be a situation of know your bank as well, not just your business, because it's not about it's about the customers, but the fraud is coming in a different direction. So Lanre, take us through this. How does AI impersonation work? And in terms of the significant threats, how much of a threat do you think AI poses for the fintech space here on the continent?
To be very honest, there's a huge threat, right? And there's a huge threat because we've not yet gotten so much data to be able to train AI to to arrest the bad players, right? And the superiority of your AI system, regardless of the region that you are, is the number of data that you've been able to gather, right? The big data, and at the stage where we are right now in the region, we're still on the data gathering side of things, right? And that's where the biggest threat is coming from. But today we've seen a lot of impersonation. We've seen AI being used, initially it used to be 3D images that people use to bypass very secure systems and even biometric systems. Right now we're seeing AI being used to generate videos and images that literally could change the course of things entirely in the entire fintech space, and even the entire technology space, right? AI today is being used to formulate wrong text, wrong text, ideally to the end customers, because sometimes when end customers receive the wrong messages, they're prone to send their pins, they're prone to send their personal identity information, and which can be used to steal from them, right? And so many AI tools are coming out right now, but then the challenge that we have right now is the fact that we've not even gotten the right counter AI tools to arrest these other bad players coming up right now, which is a big challenge currently that we have on our hands.
All right, so from there, we're typically told that we should fight fire with fire. And in terms of that, let's look at using AI to fight AI. What are some of the AI-driven solutions that you're seeing that fintechs are now employing on the continent in order to mitigate some of these risks associated with what is cyber fraud and cybersecurity challenges?
Thank you so much for that question. To be honest, we're still in the very early stages, right? What we've seen in the past few years, and months, has been so many, few AI labs coming out, right? And I just to mention, I think University of Lagos was one of the first universities in the region that had like the first AI lab in the entire region. We've seen many of the big techs also coming to Africa to have, AI labs and data labs, right? Internally, we've seen different companies, especially those in the lending space, using AI to match, the right lending and the right borrowers. We've seen those that are doing peer-to-peer payments using AI systems to merge who should I send money to, who should, if I say I need like dollar and I have Naira or I have, Ghana cedis, and they use the AI to peer those individuals so that there's a peer-to-peer system. We've seen those level of, AI in the entire space, but we haven't seen the large scale of impact, just the way we've currently seen with ChatGPT, changing everything that we do from an administrative standpoint, right? And I think it's in the early stages, right? But we've clearly seen what AI can do in the lending space. We've seen what AI can do in the peer-to-peer space. We've also seen what AI can do in the KYC space and security space. Just like, for instance, where we're playing at Adeleru-Balogun, today we use AI to ensure that we're able to merge an individual, right, and match it to what you have in the government database, and ensure that, and even while you're doing transaction on an app or in a bank, some of our banking partners were able to manage each of those customers and ensure that the bad guys are pushed out. And so we've seen those early stages of implementation of AI. Fantastic. But there's still a huge ton of things that can be done.
Okay, so one other thing I need to ask, because there seems to be an ongoing conversation right now around the world about morality and ethics that's tied into artificial intelligence and the use of it. The ChatGPT is coming up in universities. They're trying to block it because people think students will get lazy. So there's a lot of that conversation happening. When it comes to the African fintech space, how are we using AI, or how do we have fintechs who are ensuring that the ethical and responsible use of AI is what's done, so that they can protect their customers in terms of data privacy and even this algorithmic transparency? It becomes a rhyme now at this point. So, Lanre, what do you think?
Yeah, and that's a very quick question. And that's a big conversation that we should be having right now, ethics of AI, right? And to be, just to be very transparent, we haven't there yet, right? There's only very few countries in the region today that are even considering policies around AI yet, right? Or talking about it yet. And when you do not institute policies against how far AI can go, who owns the data, how the data can be used, then you have big companies, both outside of the region and within the region, doing different things to outsmart each other because it becomes so competitive, right? The danger of that is that you have so many companies that have so many data and are so powerful that when you now make a policy, you can't really catch them up right now. So when it comes to ethics of AI in the fintech space and in Africa itself, we need to start talking about the policy side of things, right? We start from the policy. The policy drives to what extent can we drive, AI implementation? To what extent can we innovate about AI? But the moment that is not in place, it's so difficult. For a company, for instance, for our company, for instance, the question is, to what extent can we, can we stop? To what extent can we go? Who owns the data and all that? But just to state also, while this is on, what we've seen so well is that we've seen so many countries taking data privacy conversation really seriously, right? For instance, in Nigeria, you have the NDPR data laws, which is very serious. In Kenya as well, they have a replica of that. In South Africa as well, we've seen some of the biggest economies in Africa taking data privacy really seriously. And I think that's a very good step for data gathering of AI itself. But we need to also have conversations around the ethics of AI and the legislative side of things and regulatory side of things, yeah.
All right, so you've touched a bit on the policy and regulatory side of things. So before we wrap things up, I'd like us to see, in terms of the challenges and the opportunities, what do you think the big challenges are, the big opportunities are for African fintech when it comes to harnessing the power, when it comes to using AI in what they want to do? Because we're seeing financial inclusion, we're seeing financial services and products that are really leaping past where we are traditionally. We're seeing cash being threatened as king, and that's a situation that really puts fintechs into the spotlight. So what are the challenges and opportunities very quickly as we wrap up?
There's a huge ton of opportunities that we can get from AI, right? And tapping into it the right way, right, it's a way forward. So today we're going to use the AI to easily understand, like I was saying, consumer behavior. You understand what your consumer needs. You understand how to bridge the gap of financial inclusion. You understand when someone needs. And AI can be implemented in almost all facets of fintech, from credit insurance to wallets, to wallet insurance, to virtual card insurance, to even the core banking itself, to credit, to asset management. The entire facet of fintech today needs AI. But the most important part, which I think is the most critical and the most impactful side of AI in fintech, is the fact that it's going to make fintech really easy for the end customer, the end user. You have, in the next few months and years, within 1 or 2, you have apps that perfectly understand the behavioral pattern and the spending pattern of the customers, right? And with that, you have apps that can do projection of how much you should spend, how much you should save, right? And consumers literally will begin to trust the banking space and also begin to trust more on the fintech space, because now the AI is not just saying, hey, transfer money. The AI is saying, I can literally be your financial advisor from your assets to the last end of, to your insurance, to everything around fintech. And I think that's something that we're going to see in the next few months and perhaps a year or 2.
And what's coming to my head right now, Lanre, is a brave new world, one where we see people pushing the envelopes, developing, but one where it still needs to have some kind of safety mechanisms. All right, Lanre Ogungbe, thank you so much for joining me. I know we'll touch base with you again because we have barely scratched the surface when it comes to the regulatory and policy issues that have to be a large part of this conversation as well. So we look forward to having you back with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.